Hi, I'm Kelly Gunther for Seattle City Light, and Highway 20 actually makes it pretty easy these days to get up to the Skagit project. But in years past, the only way to get here was either by hoofing it in, taking a mule train, or hopping a locomotive. That's because this was rugged territory, very rugged. While the Upper Skagit Indians called this area home for 10,000 years, white settlers really only began settling here during a short-lived gold rush a little over a century ago.
Well, in 1879, 1880, there was a gold rush along Ruby Creek. In 1879, a group of Upper Skagit and Skagit Valley residents actually came in to Ruby Creek and found gold. Winter set in, and they didn't have a chance to continue their mining activities, so they ended up going back down valley and into Seattle, and more publicity was sort of hyped up. And they ended up coming back in 1880 with, well, there were estimates vary from around 1,000 to 3,000 miners were along Ruby Creek, Granite Creek, all in those areas, searching for elusive gold.
Not many found it, but the area's natural beauty and other resources were discovered. These included very narrow gorges like Diablo Canyon here, which was only 13 feet across at one point. Early engineers knew some of these mountain streams would be perfect for a hydroelectric project. In 1918, the federal government gave the growing city of Seattle the permission to build dams in the Upper Skagit Valley. Bustling Seattle needed the extra power. Plants like the Cedar Falls Dam on the Cedar River and the Lake Union Steam Plant were getting taxed by growing energy needs. The push for the Skagit project came from J.D. Ross, the charismatic leader of Seattle City Light at the time. A dapperly dressed electrical engineer, Ross didn't want to buy extra energy from the private market. He feared private energy companies would gouge the city for profits. And so the Skagit project began, right here in Gorge Canyon. But the closest town by train to this area was Rockport, 20 miles away. Therefore, the project began using horses and mules. Workers literally had to hoof it in right beside their beasts of burden. Soon after, Seattle City Light built its own rail line, and the company town of New Halem emerged. It was a sprawling place made up of thousands of workers housed in hundreds of bunkhouses, and they worked year-round, right through the brutal North Cascade winters. They also achieved some true engineering feats. A 2-mile-long tunnel through solid granite was created so water could run from Gorge Lake to the Gorge Powerhouse, and 140 miles of transmission lines and towers were erected to carry the power to Seattle. By 1924, Gorge Dam had been completed, and New Halem became home to not just workers, but families. Work also began on Diablo Dam, which meant the train lines had to be pushed further into the rugged mountains. Ken Cuthbert was a longtime worker for Seattle City Light.
So everybody had to ride the train. Even the school kids rode the train down there from New Halem and Diablo, and they got on the school bus from there to Concrete when they went to high school.